Hi, I'm Alice Giroux, and I wanted to share just a few thoughts about the recent tragedy with the five individuals, the four men and the 19-year-old that passed away in the submersible. I have been glued to the news, as I'm sure many others have been. I was, of course, holding out hope that they would be found alive. And to get the news that they discovered that the submersible imploded is just absolutely tragic. And, it's moments like this that we are reminded of how valuable life is and that tomorrow is not promised to any of us. And I'm sure you've heard that line time and time again, but we forget, we take each day for granted. We get lost in the busyness of life and we just assume that we will be here forever and we assume our loved ones will be here forever. And then another tragedy occurs, whether it's a mass shooting or a loved one passes away suddenly. I mean, anything can happen to any of us at any moment. And it is a reminder to not take life for granted, to be grateful for what we have. Even if we're facing tough times, we're overwhelmed, we're stressed out, we don't know how we're going to resolve our problems, it's still important to make that shift of, instead of focusing on what we don't have and focusing on those problems, we have to intentionally shift and focus on the things that we do have. We do have our lives. We do have, let's say, your loved ones, whether it's your children, a spouse, a parent, friends that care about you. You have a roof over your head. I mean, it looks different from person to person, right? So find that one thing, and it could be something small that you're grateful for. And we have to be very intentional about remembering that we do have something to be grateful for, as tough as life is. So that is my encouragement to you. Be grateful. I know I often have to remind myself as well. Also, in those moments when you're experiencing tough times, pause. Take a moment to step back. There is power in the pause. And when I say step back, I mean to just take a moment to clear your head, to breathe a little bit, to exhale, to kind of gather yourself and recover a bit from what you're facing. That's just a small way of um, kind of bringing yourself back to life when you're being pulled in every direction. So take a moment to step back, pause, and also I encourage you to remind your loved ones and your friends and those that are important to you that you're thinking about them. Give an old friend a phone call, letting her know that, hey, I was thinking about you. I appreciate you. Tell your loved one that you love them. Just give them a quick hug. It only takes a few seconds. Let someone know that you're thinking about them and how important they are to you. And I promise you, it goes a long way. Such a small gesture, but it means everything to those that matter to you. Remember to be grateful. It's hard a lot of times when you feel like you're drowning in all the things, but make that shift. You do have to be intentional, focusing from the negative to the positive. Be grateful, pause, take a moment for yourself, and embrace someone that you love. Call someone up. And then I'll leave you with this. I was with a client earlier and we were talking about all the stresses that she was dealing with. And I have this phrase that I like to use. It's called the slices of heaven. And so when you're busy, when you're feeling overwhelmed, take a moment to experience a small slice of heaven. And that looks different from person to person. What are those small things that bring you joy? So maybe it's simply going to a store to buy something for yourself. It could be a blouse, a new blouse that you want to treat yourself to. It could be going to a nice restaurant if you're a foodie. Maybe it is going out with a girlfriend of yours to just kick back and have some fun and have some adult conversation. What's something small that you can do that brings you absolute joy and that energizes you? I call those the small slices of heaven. Find what that is for you and take a moment for yourself. Sow into yourself. Treat yourself with something small, something that matters most to you. Okay, I'll see you next time.